It's meatloaf night at my house, and I'm already bored with it. So today, we're gonna make meatloaf like you've never had before. I'm talking about bacon jalapeno mac and cheese stuffed meatloaf. Let's get it. Guys, in order to make this mac and cheese, of course, you're gonna need some noodles, a big ass brick of Velveeta. We want a little spice, so we're gonna throw in some pepper jack cheese as well. And of course, we're gonna need some fresh jalapeno. So obviously, we need to have our noodles boiled, right? So we're gonna pour in some water, and we want just enough water to cover our noodles. And now we're gonna get our water to a boil. Now we don't need this whole brick, so we're gonna cut that right in half.
And now we're just gonna chop it up into rough chunks.
As you can see, our noodles are boiling. What we're gonna do at this point now is we're gonna go ahead and remove them from the heat. We don't wanna overcook them, so we're gonna toss them to the side and just kind of throw that lid on there and let them continue to cook. They're gonna cook for a minute. Now we're gonna cut our jalapenos. We're just gonna do a rough dice on it, guys. Make them as big or as small as you like. The bigger the jalapeno chunks, the more flavor packed each bite is gonna be. Do what works best for your palate. Take the seeds out if it's too much heat for you. I'm gonna leave them in because I like it hot, my friends.
Now we're gonna go ahead and chop up our pepper jack cheese. Last but not least, we need to chop up about 4 tablespoons of butter because we want to enrich the body of that flavor.
So we're just gonna take the same pan that we used for the noodles and we're gonna drop our butter in there. And we're gonna let that butter get nice and warm. Let the melting process really begin. Make sure you get in that evaporated milk now. You see our butter starting to boil a little bit. We do not want to burn that butter, my dudes. All right? Get at least a half of this can of evaporated milk in here. I'm working off of a 12-ounce can. We might add more later, but we'll give ourselves a chance to see what we got going on first. Now we're gonna start to introduce our cheese. We want that cheese to melt. And now that we have a nice liquid mixture here, it's gonna help kind of soft melt that cheese without getting it stuck to the bottom. And again, we're just gonna keep moving it. We wanna move it so it doesn't burn to the bottom of the pan, all right? Nobody likes burnt cheese on the bottom of a pan. It's gonna sit in your sink for 2 weeks with water in it. Your wife's gonna get angry at you. Maybe your husband, I don't know who's cooking this. It doesn't really matter to me, dude. Here's the thing though, if you don't like these cheeses, because every time I use Velveeta in something, I get like 40 people who talk about, ooh, Velveeta, I never use Velveeta, I stopped watching your video. Well, that's cool, you can stop watching it if you want. That being said, use a different cheese, man. You can literally put any cheese you want to in here. You're only limited by your imagination and you're biased against the greatest gooey cheese of all time, which is Velveeta. It literally takes on the flavor of everything else you're putting in there. So, I love Velveeta. I use it in all kinds of stuff. I don't really care. Use it or don't. If it's good enough for my grandma, it's good enough for me. I'm gonna go ahead and drop in our jalapenos. Make sure that you drop some all on the outside of your pan. You don't wanna cook them all. Some of them you just wanna have to sweep off the floor later. That's the mark of a true chef, of a true cook. Is having to clean half of your supplies off the floor and or table afterwards. So let me tell you this. If you think that criticism on YouTube and social media is bad now, wait until you're not dropping half your stuff on the floor. Guys, in our final step here, it's time to get that bacon in here. Now, if you guys want to know how to make bacon bits, let me know in the comments below. I might throw a little video up on Instagram kind of showing you how I make bacon bits. Look at that, dude. Cheesy, bacony, full of jalapenos. Now we still got some big chunks of cheese in here, and that's fine because we're gonna have this on the smoker. So this cheese is gonna continue to thin out. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and add back some noodles. These noodles are very hot. I'm definitely burning the holy hell out of my hand right now. Man, did not think that one through, did I? Come on, dude. Yo, talk crap about Velveeta now, haters. Look at that. Speaking of which, Velveeta, who makes Velveeta Craft? Come on, dude, holla at your boy. There's nobody on the internet singing the praises of Velveeta harder than me. Look at that. I really think that that's what I want. I think that's the consistency I'm looking for. Now we're gonna take this off the heat. We're gonna set it to the side and let it cool down and kind of firm up. We don't want it to get too out of control here. We're not worried about the extra chunks of cheese. That stuff is fine. It's gonna work itself out. Guys, I just got some 80/20 ground beef from my grocery store. Not anything out of the ordinary or special. You should be able to get this anywhere. Bam, right there. So we got 2 pounds of ground beef going in here. Now we have some mild Italian sausage here. We're just gonna go ahead and break the casing open on it. I really wanted hot Italian sausage, but they didn't have any. So we got a little fix for that. We're gonna do a little something about that here in a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and throw that little intestine over there. Now before we get back to our meat mixture, we're gonna want to chop our vegetables here. I like to have a little color in mind. I'm gonna use the rest of my jalapeno in here, but I also wanna get some sweet red bell pepper in there so we get a nice sweet flavor as well. Now we got 2 eggs here. We're gonna go ahead and put 2 eggs into this bowl, yeah. We wanna add some body to these eggs. So like in my previous meatloaf video, we're gonna hit that with a little bit of cream. And then we're gonna whisk these guys together. We wanna make sure that we have that egg yolk good and busted up and that we have that cream and that egg mixed together pretty well. All right, now see we got a nice thick creamy mix here, but you don't wanna overbeat that because it's heavy whipping cream and we're not trying to make egg whipped cream, you know what I mean? That right there is perfect. So now we're gonna set that off to the side and we're gonna bring back over our bowl of meat. All right, guys, this is where we're gonna get real sexy with this. And by sexy, I mean, we're just gonna cook some food, it's whatever. All right, we're gonna get in here we go. All of our peppers are going in there. Our leftover jalapenos, our red bell peppers. And it's good to have different sizes cuts here. We're just rough chopping because we want different textures, all right? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start to beat in a little bit of that egg. We'll kind of let it hang out. Screw it, let's go for broke here, dude. Let's go all in. Since we were not able to get that hot Italian, we're gonna throw some crushed red pepper in there. Get loose, dude. Don't be afraid. Don't be a coward, all right? And of course, we're gonna use some of that Skull and Mortar original rub. Get it on the website now, skullandmortar.com. And we're gonna go ahead and get a good layering of this, all right? This is gonna add a lot of body to your flavor. Don't be afraid, this is a lot of meat. Get it in there. And to top it all off, we're gonna use some of that Kroger MSG, man. Come on, I know, again, if you don't wanna use MSG, don't use it, it's your loss, whatever, I don't care, it's healthy, there's nothing wrong with it. Get it in here. Get that umami, my dudes. And finally, we're gonna add some panko breadcrumbs. Don't be afraid to layer them in here. I got about a full cup. All right, we're gonna get a lot of these breadcrumbs in here. There's a lot of moisture in here. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, that's all you need for a meatloaf, right? Not today, my friends. We have a special guest on the show, and that is Skull and Mortar Honey Barbecue Sauce. We like to call it Life is a Beach, and it should be available for pre-order on the website by the time you see this video. We're gonna dump about 1/4 of a cup of this luscious, sweet, wonderful, amazing, magnificent, I don't know, it's just good, all right? It's good, sweet barbecue sauce. If you like honey barbecue sauce, you'll love this, you feel me? Now you just need to get in here and get nasty with it, you know? Just jam those in. Jam your little dirty phalanges right in there. You should be wearing gloves for this. If not, you're a lunatic and God bless you. You probably found the right channel, but me, I like to keep my fingers clean. Just make sure you get it mixed as even as possible, all right? Just all the way through. There we go. Look at that mush of delicious meat and flavors. That's what's up. Guys, so now you're gonna grab a loaf pan, all right? And we are gonna stick some meat in there. Kind of pack it down in, make sure that you get it all the way around. It's gonna be very important that we leave a cavity because we still have to put our filling in there. Guys, I don't wanna hear any pervert stuff about filling cavities, dude. I know that sometimes you guys are not the classiest of viewers and I respect that, but let's pretend like we do now. PG-13, guys, come on. And kind of build it up on the walls like that. All right, guys, we got a good, nice cavity here, and now it's time to do the Lord's work. As you can see, our mac and cheese is firmed up quite a bit. Still good and creamy, but it's not super liquidy, which is good. We're just gonna fill that hole. Swear to God, dude, I'll ban everybody. I don't care. And now comes the grand finale. To be honest with you guys, I've never actually made this before, so we could possibly have a friggin' disaster, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm fairly certain that this is gonna work. If it doesn't work, well, I don't know. I didn't really think that part through until right now, what would happen if it didn't work. So just pray for me, guys. I'm here for your entertainment. I've stuffed it with regular cheese before, but it just seemed like that was a little overdone, you know what I mean? Now, guys, we're never done seasoning. We're always seasoning here, right? So what are we gonna do? We're gonna go right back to that skull and mortar rub, and we are gonna hit it again. You literally cannot season this too much. Well, yeah, you can. That's a lie. You can season it too much. Don't be an a-hole, guys. Have some level of common sense here. Look at that. Now we're gonna line a baking sheet with some parchment paper, and we're gonna take our loaf and we are gonna flip that son of a bee over, and we are gonna hope that it comes out in one piece. Probably a lot of better ways I could have done this in retrospect. We're living a life of danger. Yes! Victory, guys. Hell yes. Look at that, dude. That is pretty decent, I think. It's a little wonky on here, but we're not gonna eat it on parchment paper anyway. I'm just happy that we got it this far. You know? I started really thinking that it wasn't gonna hold together. Look at that, dude. That's a big ass, sexy meatloaf. Can a meatloaf be sexy? I'd like to think so, and I'd like to think we just found a sexy meatloaf. I feel like I've used sexy to talk about this meat too much, but now. Guys, I got my smoker outside. It's at 300 degrees. I got a mix of cherry, hickory, and pecan, and now I'm gonna throw this bad boy on here. I think we're looking at about 2 hours, but never ever rush, all right? Patience is a virtue when you're using that smoker. So we're gonna throw this on. We're gonna see what happens, and we are just gonna let it take its time. Guys, so I think that we're about done here. The meat looks cooked all the way through. Now we need to set the glaze, all right? Obviously, this bad boy is not pretty right now, but what are we gonna do as far as glaze? We're gonna break out that skull and mortar honey sauce, and we are going to give it another coating. Now you might notice I did put it on a baking rack because I want it up out of those juices that are all over the bottom. I want to get as much firmness and crispiness as we can get on the outside now without burning it, obviously. We're gonna give it a good coating of the sauce here. We're just gonna kind of brush this all around and get a good solid coating. We want it all to be as even as possible. This is gonna create like a shell of flavor here if we have done this all correctly. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look amazing. We're gonna throw this back on the smoker. We're gonna check it in 15 minutes. We don't wanna burn the glaze, but we wanna make sure that it's good and set. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, I melted my gloves again, that's why it's hot. Guys, here it is. It looks amazing, but I honestly don't know what happens when we cut into this. We could literally be walking right into a disaster. We're gonna find out, in theory, this is a great idea. We're gonna find out together just how good of an idea it is, all right? We only get one chance at this reveal here. So it's definitely good and soft. We did not overcook it, I can tell you that. All right, guys, I'm gonna try and do this pull right here, and we're gonna just live our best life together, all right? Let's find out what happens inside. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Hell yes. Wow, that looks amazing. We might have a success. Look at that thing, man. That's friggin' beautiful. All right, let's see if we can get this off to the side a little bit, and let's see if we can get a solid slice out of this. Kind of push that mac and cheese in a little bit. We'll go about 1.5 inches or so. I'm gonna kind of ride this with the bevel of my knife here. I'm just gonna take my time cutting through this because I don't want to push that mac and cheese out. Look at that. I'm really stoked about how this thing turned out. All right, guys, let's get a taste. Guys, if you like spice and you like sweet and you like mac and cheese and you like meatloaf and you like smoke and you like depth of flavor, this bad boy is for you. If you don't like that stuff, probably not. But this right here is amazing. I don't know why we're not doing this on a bigger level all the time. Like, this is something that I probably am gonna incorporate somehow into my food truck. It's phenomenal. It's great. I'm gonna have another bite. Let's just hit it with a little bit of that Skull and Mortar Life is a Beach honey barbecue sauce. Let's get a little dose of that in there, a little extra kick from that. Well, I'm sure Terry's gonna have something negative to say. Thought I forgot about you, didn't you, Terry? Hell no, never. Mortal enemies till the end of time. That being said, go ahead and cook this for yourself, Terry, and then go to hell. Guys, if you like this video, if there's something in it that you can use, hit that like. If not, hit a thumbs down. Who cares? Hit something. It's all the same. But feel free to mix and match this recipe. Remember, in cooking, there are no rules. Literally, do whatever you want. Do whatever you like, but do something cool. Cook good, eat good, my friends, and I'll see you next week with a brand new video.